Welcome to Culinary Quick Bites. Today we're going to review how to measure foods by weight. So to measure foods by weight, what we need are scales. So with us today, we have two different types of scales. We've got spring scales or mechanical scales, and we've got a digital scale. Now, a scale is only as good as how it's been maintained. So you want to be very careful, especially with these spring-loaded scales, on how you handle and carry them. Always make sure you're carrying them by the sides or at the base. The reason being is that there's a spring that's here underneath this platform, and if you carry it by the platform, it'll elongate that spring and render the scale inaccurate. So make sure when you're moving your scales around the kitchen that you're holding them the proper way, on the base or on the sides. All right? The next thing we want to do when we're weighing anything is make sure that we have our scales zeroed out or tared, and all that means is that we're adjusting the dial on the scale to 0 to offset the weight of any sort of food pan or container that we're placing on the scale. So there's a couple different types of ways to adjust these spring scales. This spring scale here has a nut that is underneath the platform. So you want to rotate that nut to move the dial to 0. So just keep rotating it slowly until it is right on the 0. The next one, it's actually a little easier than moving that nut around. And for this one, we're just going to use the dial here in the center. And you're just going to go ahead and rotate until you get it right to 0. So you want to make sure that you're exactly on the 0. Being off just a little bit can have large effects. All right, and then finally, we've got our digital scale. So digital scales are a little easier. You just go ahead and turn the scale on. And then if you're placing an item on top of it, you go ahead and place the item on top of the scale. And then you hit the tare button. And what that will do is it'll reset the scale to 0 with the container on it. Same applies to both of these. You put the container on it and adjust it to 0. All right, so now to demonstrate, we have a 2-ounce portion cup here. What we're going to do is we're going to fill this portion cup with cheese to demonstrate that the amount of space and weight do not correlate cleanly. So again, this is a 2 fluid ounce portion cup. We need to serve 2 ounces of cheese to our program. So we're going to go ahead and start loading up this portion cup with cheese to see what it weighs to be filled completely. So see here, we have a full 2 fluid ounce portion cup. It's overflowing with cheese, but our weight is only at 1.1 ounce. So if we were trying to serve 2 ounces of cheese in our program to our students, and we're using this portion cup as a unit of measure, we would be underserving our students by 0.9 ounces. So we want to make sure that we're using weight to identify how much of a food product that's not fluid liquid weighs. I'll show you another example here. Here we have some honey, all right, and it's filled up to 4 ounces here in our measuring container. What we're going to do is we're going to place this container that's the exact same on the scale. We'll then tear out the scale to set it back to 0. We want to 0 it out, all right? And then we're going to remove the tester cup, and we're going to place this container of honey on here. Again, this is 4 fluid ounces. When we put it on the scale, it comes out to 6.2 ounces by weight, demonstrating that weight and volume do not equate. On just 4 simple ounces of honey here, by volume, we're ending up with 6.2 by weight. So it's really important that we're using our scales accurately and we're measuring the right foods the right way. All right? So go ahead and practice with your team, and thanks for joining me. We'll see you on the next Culinary Quick Bites.